traffic terminator, in fact, I mean, does the private sector have their own choice or a list of choices on who can fill this void of a crisis manager for traffic?
Well, in our recommendation, last August 26, we suggested Secretary Almendras to be the traffic chair. And the President responded by appointing him as coordinator. Well, a chair, I would say, would be more effective because he will have a complete say over and to coordinate all the agencies.
Well, so trains aren't going to be the short-term relief for alleviating traffic then. So what is the Management Association of the Philippines recommending?
Okay, in the position paper that we presented last August 26, we included near-term measures, medium-term measures, and long-term measures. Now, obviously, we need near-term measures in order to provide the earliest relief to commuters. And we mentioned that the 3 E's, which are the basic principles in effective traffic management, must be applied. And that is education, engineering, enforcement. Now, Vice President Binay mentioned this. Now, on engineering, I would like to show you the situation on EDSA before we submitted our recommendation.
But we'll take a look at those pictures. I know that you supplied some of the pictures. When you mention engineering, it's the use of lane barriers, the grade separation at the key intersections, the ones we see along EDSA, the orange pylons.
Yes,
like we see here in the
now,
picture here. How can that actually help solve the traffic? I mean, is it working right now as a short-term solution, Eddie?
Yes. If you look at the image of EDSA before the lane barriers were installed, you will see buses swerving from the bus lanes all the way to the leftmost lane for private vehicles. And that disrupts traffic. And that is a common sight, common occurrence every day, every hour. Okay, so the Management Association, in its holistic approach, recommended the installation of lane delineators. And we're seeing that now. If you look at EDSA, the entire stretch from Mandaluyong all the way to Makati, there are lane delineators
And that's exactly
installed.
What we're seeing in the pictures here, but can you measure the effectiveness of these lane barriers and grade separation? Do we have any metric to say that traffic's been alleviated at a peak rush hour like this, like we're seeing live pictures earlier of EDSA along Guadalupe, and it's still pretty packed going to Makati?
Well, the traffic flow is more efficient now because vehicles keep to their lanes, and that at least provides smoother flow of traffic. That is what we need, because with the limited road space that we have to maximize and optimize our road space. And efficiency is very important. Now, but lane delineators are not the only solution. We have a menu of solutions that so far the government has implemented only 4. One is Secretary Almendras. Second is HPG. The third is the focus on EDSA. And the fourth is the engineering refinements such as lane delineators.
No, that doesn't include the high occupancy vehicles or the buses to operate as a system. I mean, how important is that as a short-term solution?
It is very important because we have to reduce the volume of vehicles on the street. We have limited capacity, and we have to make our roads more efficient in transporting people to their destination. For instance, those going to schools and colleges, instead of using individual cars, they should be using shuttle buses. And that is an HOV practice. That's what we mean.
High occupancy vehicles, HOVs, you mean? Are these similar to carpooling, or is it a different term?
It's broader. It's a broader sense. Yes, because a carpool involves, let's say, a car that you share a ride with your family members or with office members, no? While a HOV, it can be used, for instance, in the school. Yes, a shuttle bus that will transport students of the same school. So they can be transported from, let's say, from a parking area in a shopping mall to the nearby school or college.
Yeah, you're looking at a live shot now of EDSA along Guadalupe. The way going to Makati, we do see those orange pylons. So they are indeed making a difference to the buses that are being separated away from the private cars. But you know, you're also recommending some other measures like creating bridges, a steel bridge overpass. I think we do have a picture at the intersection, if we could just show that. How is that going to help ease traffic?
Well, you know, we must have urban expressways in Metro Manila because the name of the game is for throughput of vehicles. There should be an uninterrupted flow of traffic. Now, in a highly congested corridor like EDSA, every second, every minute counts. When there are disruptions on EDSA or C5, it causes vehicles to pile up, okay, and that worsens the traffic. So at C5, for instance, there are so many intersections that are disrupting traffic. Now, our suggestion is to eliminate those intersections quickly by using prefabricated steel bridging components to quickly assemble and to provide grade separation. Now, in fact, I would like to add that if this can be done on C5, C5 will provide relief to EDSA, so much so that many vehicles will be diverted to C5. Okay. Now, the proposed grade separation on Buendia that was forwarded by the DPWH and scheduled for construction soon, I would recommend that it be deferred. And instead of excavating the road, use these steel prefabricated bridging systems. Because, you know, construction there will only exacerbate the traffic problem in Metro Manila.
Yeah, a lot of short-term solutions for essentially a long-term solution. Of course, we want that to happen eventually. Is it all dependent on building and upgrading the rail systems, Eddie?
Yes, until the rail systems, LRT, MRT, are fully upgraded, we should institute short-term measures in order to relieve traffic. And as I mentioned, it includes HOV practices. It includes the elimination of the congestion areas such as intersections so that there will be free flow of traffic. And in addition to EDSA and C5, the distribution branches that intersects EDSA and C5 must also be given attention. For instance, vehicles on EDSA, they need outlets. They need to get out, let's say, to Quezon City. They need Ortigas. But Ortigas has a lot of intersections, and the flow of traffic there is very inefficient. The same is true for Shaw Boulevard. The same is true for Buendia. The same is true for D. Tuason. So the focus should not be only on EDSA, but include these important arteries.